Hello everybody, this is Danilo out here in nature once again from peacefulanarchism.com, theseedsofliberty.com, theconsciousresistance.com, and the Voluntary Virtues Network. So today I want to discuss a recent post I made on Steemit, a website that is kind of a social media hybrid between Reddit and blockchain technology and Facebook. It is really awesome, and it seems anarchists and volunteers have been flocking to it as of late. I'm not going to say too much about it because there's a lot of other videos you can find out more about it, but like Jeff Berwick and Sterling Lujan both made great videos about it, so you can check their content out if you want to learn more about that. But yeah, so about secession, the idea that secession is the essence of anarchy, which I believe is an Abraham Lincoln quote, if I'm not mistaken. So what is secession, right? Secession specifically refers to kind of an entity or a geographical region withdrawing from a particular nation state. But it doesn't have to be just that, right? Because the fundamental essence of it is dissociation, the ability to dissociate, right? To associate and to dissociate, just as human beings, individuals have the ability to discriminate. This is often a term that is maligned and scorned, but it shouldn't be, because we discriminate every day. You make choices every day. Who you want to be friends with, who you don't want to be friends with, who you want to date, who you don't want to date. You make choices, and in those choices, which businesses you want to patronize, which you don't, right? So in those choices, we discriminate all the time, and there is nothing wrong with that. It's completely natural, right? If we choose to do something, it is because we have not chosen to do something else. It's called opportunity cost in economics, and this is how we decide what to do with a finite amount of time we all have, right? There's, the idea of economics is that there's infinite desires and finite and scarce resources, right? So there is no way for everyone to satisfy all of their desires at once. So how do we rationally allocate those scarce resources to the places where they're most needed and can be put to the most efficient use, right? And this is why free market anarchy or free market capitalism or economics is such a powerful concept to understand, because if we don't understand this, we will inevitably begin to appeal to a higher authority, a higher central agency that will be arbitrarily delegating out those resources to whomever they deem fit or needs those resources. And most oftentimes when that occurs, the only groups or people that they delegate out those resources are the ones that have special connections or ties to that central agency or to the state, right? Which often is the central agency. So it is not a fair or equitable system by any means. There is inherent corruption. People say, government is corrupt, politicians are corrupt. We just need to get money out of politics. We need a politician there that's going to fight corruption. No, it's impossible. The nature of the state, the nature of statism and the belief in authority is corrupt. You cannot concentrate power in a small group of people or in one person and expect there to be a fair and equitable system, right? It's inherent. There is inherent corruption. There is inherent nepotism and favoritism and bribes that occur, and all this kind of unequal distribution, right? People tend to think that we need communism so that we can equally redistribute everything, but no, actually it's like we're all equal in slavery, right? Except the people in power, right? They're nice. They got the nice houses and nice cars, everything they need. Everybody else is equal in slavery. So we have to fight back against this type of mentality. So secession is just about the right to dissociate, right? Just as individuals, we as individuals have the right to dissociate with who we want to marry. Like, my wife is very happy that I discriminate every single day to sleep in the same house as her or to be with her in a relationship. She's very happy that I discriminate. My wife generally has a monopoly on the, my attention, right? The majority of my attention. And she's happy about that, right? So we discriminate all the time, right? There is nothing inherently immoral about dissociation. And even if, well, I'll go so far as to say this, even if, you have an evil corporate, or let's say a small business that says, I don't want to serve blacks, I don't want to serve Hispanics, I don't want to serve Jews, I don't want to serve gays or lesbians. Again, if we have as individuals the right to dissociate or secede or discriminate, so do those same individuals who have a business have the right to dissociate or discriminate, right? And in so doing, they will endure the consequences of those actions, which often become social ostracism, boycotting, bad reputations. As we know on the internet, when a business is committing certain foul practices, it's very easy for people to get on the internet, on Yelp, on Facebook, on Twitter, on even Amazon or Craigslist, or wherever, or Consumer Reports often are assessing various businesses as to their practices and the quality of their products. And so it's very easy for a business to destroy their reputations with absurd practices like that. And why would any business want to commit such suicide, reputational suicide? It wouldn't make sense. So, I think we have progressed, we have attained the moral and intellectual evolution to understand that discrimination is immoral, right? Even if at one time it was legislated by Jim Crow, and even before that through chain slavery, if even, let's say, half, I don't know the majority, but even, let's say, half thought that, discrimination and blacks were inherently inferior, that is no longer the case. Even politicians cannot campaign on the idea of superiority of a particular race, like whites, because they would be shunned and booed, and their reputation would be destroyed. So the zeitgeist of the times has already shifted, right? So businesses would not commit such suicide as to do something like that anymore. And so, but even still, true freedom, when voluntarists and anarchists talk about freedom, it is the freedom to be a sexist, the freedom to be a bigot and a racist and anything that people deem to be evil, as long as it's not violating the self-ownership or the property rights of another individual, it's fine, no problem. You have the freedom to act as you so wish, right? As freedom is as you wish. Act as you wish, so long as you don't harm another individual. So this is the idea of secession and the idea of discrimination and dissociation. It is inherent as being a human being, as being an individual. We have this natural right to dissociate from whomever we please, and whichever business we please, and whichever state we please, right? So this is why I love agorism, which is basically leading your life outside of the state, transacting business outside of the state, raising your kids outside of the state, doing all kinds of things outside of the state. So I support agorism, I support secession, I support peaceful non-compliance of unjust laws, which is basically the majority of laws. So secession is not a dirty word. Dissociation and discrimination are not dirty words. And I think more of us need to understand that. So thank you for listening. This is Danilo from peacefulanarchism.com, thusseizliberty.com, theconsciousresistance.com, and the Voluntary Virtues Network. Wishing all of you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.